Hello guys, welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. In today's video I'm going to show you a super fast method to set up a cherry shrimp tank. This is going to be a super fast paced video. We are actually going to add things to the tank in order that I would do it. And then at the end I'll show you the tank with shrimp in and not everything else, right? So let's go. So first we are going to add in our filtration, right? This is a filter that I have made myself. It's simply a plate with a PVC pipe in it with the holes that I've soldered holes into. We're going to put a large sponge in here. And the reason I'm going with this setup, guys, is because I want as much filtration as possible, and we have an added bonus that there is an awful lot of Java moss on our sponge that we're going to put in here, right? So let's get that next, put it over here. I'm going to place it in first, and then get the bucket out of the way, and then I'll come back and we'll arrange the actual moss. But you can see this is a really big bit of moss. Now let's see if we can fix this sponge filter so that it's actually in place on top of its mount, which should be simple enough to do if we can find the top. I take it this is the base. There you have it. Fits like a glove. Let's see, what is the best looking way? This way probably. You'll see a little bit of the sponge to begin with because, yeah, this Java moss has been sitting in that bucket for quite a while. Right, next we're going to add a little cave because we're actually going to put a bristlenose pleco in here as well. So here is our cave, standard little bristlenose pleco cave. And yeah, I am aware that this tank is a tiny bit too small for bristlenose plecos, but yeah, you could say this is kind of like a grow out tank for a little fish. So let's just put it in there. Next we're going to add a piece of wood because bristlenose pleco absolutely love to munch on wood. A little bit spindly looking, but it will do. As long as you have wood in the tank, your bristlenose pleco should be good to go. Right, so I'm just going to place this at the back because we are actually going to have all our shrimp and snails congregating at the front here when we feed them and stuff, so we have a little feeding area here. Right, let's see if I can find the air supply for this and we'll put this in. So I found a little piece of a broken air stone. Right, this has had the base chopped off because I typically don't like to have air stones in my tank because they do tend to block up, but this one will be perfect. We just need to shove it on to the end like this and put it into the top of the filter if we can find the little gap. It's like kind of like a Christmas tree, this thing. Next, we're going to add the water. Now, I have already prepared my water. I've had it prepared for a few days in advance, so this is going to fill right up. And then, guys, we're going to add our fish and our shrimp. Here we have our little bristlenose pleco. It's too small to 6, but you can see it here. And guys, the reason I like to put my bristlenose plecos in smaller tanks like this in the beginning is just to get them to grow a little bit bigger. There you go. Let's add in our snails. These are a very important part of our ecosystem. So let's get these guys in. And this is a mixture of bladder snails and ram's horn snails. I'm just going to turn it. You probably can't see. I'm just going to put my hand in and make sure we get all of them out. Let's finally add in our shrimp. And there's not so many, guys, because we want to make sure that we do this slowly, because this is a fresh tank. Even though we've used everything from other tanks, it is still a fresh tank. Now I can see that some of these girls are buried as well, so with a little bit of luck we shall have plenty of breeding as well. And you go, this one's a painted fire red, that one must be from one of my older colonies from before. This tank is meant for breeding to the maximum. We have our bristlenose pleco. It will eat the wood and any food that is left in the tank on the base, right? And then the shrimp will eat its poop, right? And then we also have snails doing the same job, right? And the whole premise behind this type of tank is there is never ever any overfeeding with this type of tank because there's never enough food in the tank left after everything is fed in the first place. If you get what I mean. What would you expect from a tank like this? You would see more and more buried shrimp. These walls will eventually green up as well. The bristlenose pleco will get bigger, and eventually we'll move him down into the bigger tank below and he can have a chance of breeding with some lovely female. Before I go, I just want to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year because I probably won't make another video until after then. So here's to 2024 and yeah, have a good one. Happy shrimp keeping.